Hey, what's up, guys? Jake here, and I wanted to do a follow up video to my last live stream. I showed a clip of Jim Breuer almost admitting that Dave Chappelle has been replaced by an imposter. I showed the clip from his own podcast where he gave a partial, almost kind of sort of admission that Dave Chappelle has been replaced, but not really. So I was told that he gives a better, more detailed admission in his interview with Roseanne. So I decided I would play that clip and I would break it down. And then when the clip is done, I'll give you my opinion of what I think of Roseanne and Jim after giving these so-called admissions. All right, so this one is from Roseanne's podcast, and away we go.
Horrid. Mm-hmm. He then, while he was on the show, when it was blowing up, and we remember the Aspen Comedy Festival? I don't know.
Yeah, that was fun. I did that too.
He came there, and he was freaked out.
Yeah.
I said, "What's going on?" And all I could say is he was visited.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
And when he told me who visited him, my heart stops for a second. I'm like, get the fuck. And I'll never forget. He went, "You believe me, right? You believe me, Jim, right?" And I could. He's like, they came to me, and he said the names. I'm like, get the fuck. And what happened? And then all of a sudden, he went to Africa.
Yeah, that's what I remember happening. But they never really said what happened. Was he threatened? I mean, I don't know how much you want
I don't have.
You can't.
That's none of my business.
Okay.
But I know for a fact
he was corrected.
He said, correct.
Yeah.
He was, hey, by whoever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we need to have a conversation.
Okay, so far he hasn't said anything more in this interview than he did on his own podcast. So he said on his own podcast that Dave Chappelle was visited, and here he makes the same claim that he was visited. He doesn't tell us who he was visited by. So he leads us to believe that he knows the names of these people, but he ain't given us the names of these people. So it's as if he's only telling us what he's allowed to tell us. And so I'm not real impressed with this admission so far. Dave was visited. Well, by who? Oh, that's not my business. I can't say. So this is the thing that really makes me distrust Jim. And we'll see if he goes on to say anything more. But so far, not much has been said about Dave being replaced by an imposter.
Would you like some of your own coffee in your house? What? Yeah, like that heavy shit. And that's the first time, I would. And so when I saw him come back, there was a lot less communication. And maybe he just, maybe he just grows, whatever. But I can honestly say, maybe I'm crazy and I am crazy for saying this. Mm-hmm. When I saw him completely come back, I really questioned if that was him.
Yeah, I know, right? I think that's.
And I know that's really crazy.
I think those same things, yeah.
I know that's crazy.
Well, it's no crazier than that. The trains are going off the rails.
But I can honestly say, maybe I'm crazy and I am crazy for saying this. Mm-hmm. When I saw him completely come back, I really questioned if that was him.
And maybe I'm crazy for saying this. And I am crazy for saying this. He called himself crazy. No, it's not crazy to notice that Dave Chappelle has been replaced. I've never met Dave Chappelle. I'm 100% certain it's not the same person anymore. The original Dave is not the same person as the current imposter Dave. I am 100% certain of this. So that means Jim Breuer, someone who knew him and was friends with the original Dave, knows 1000% sure that the current imposter Dave is not original Dave. He knows it for a fact. But he's saying he wasn't 100% sure? Come on, Jim. This is what I don't like about Jim Breuer and these partial admissions. They aren't really admissions. A real admission is this: I'm 1000% sure that the current guy pretending to be Dave Chappelle is not the real Dave Chappelle. The Dave Chappelle I knew and worked with, that was the real Dave Chappelle. Whoever this guy is, I don't talk to him, and it's not the real Dave Chappelle. That would be an admission. But I don't think he's allowed to do that. And since he's not allowed to do that, that means he's controlled, just like Roseanne. So I don't think for a second either one of these are truthers or genuine people. Both of these characters, Roseanne and Jim, are both tied back to Hollyweird. Both of them. So anyone who trusts Roseanne, let me go ahead and put her face on screen as well. Roseanne had hundreds of millions of people watching her at one point. Roseanne in the 90s was her own popular star of her own show called Roseanne, right? So she was the main character in a sitcom called Roseanne. And what did that sitcom do? It popularized being a fat, loudmouth, white trash person, white trashy family who sits in front of the TV and eats junk food. That's basically what the Roseanne television show popularized, was loudmouth, TV watching trash culture. And that's what she's most famous for. And now on the back end of her career, when she's a lot less famous, now she's been repackaged as some sort of a truther. Except she doesn't expose any big time truth. She doesn't expose any real truth. It's a bunch of truther light. Same with Jim. The most famous thing Jim ever did was be a stoner character in a stoner movie with Dave Chappelle. So now he's on the back end of his career being repackaged as some sort of truther. And the only truth he brings is truther light. And by truther light, what do I mean? I mean they won't cover any real heavy, deep conspiracies. They'll only cover the light, fluffy stuff on top. Right? You won't see Jim Breuer or Roseanne breaking down a staged bang, bang, pow, pow event, will you? No, you'll never see that. You won't see Jim Breuer or Roseanne breaking down any fake space missions. They might bring up a topic and talk about flat Earth for a second or two, maybe, but they won't show you any damn proof that the Earth is not a globe or that space missions are being faked. No, you got to leave that to a real truther. So, beings I have been doing real truthing for many years, I'm not going to listen to some truther light truthers who are tied back to Hollyweird. They're basically knockoff versions of Alex Jones. We're looking at less aggressive, less crazed versions of Alex Jones, basically. These are controlled opposition characters in every sense of the word. And let me prove it.
Well, it's no crazier than that. The trains are going off the rails.
I tell you what, these fucking boats are running into bridges. Son of a bitch, the goddamn fucking electricity went out, and let me get you know what? The black box don't work. Son of a bitch, it's been working for years and years, and all of a sudden this fucker went out of business. So we don't know what happened.
So they went from deep, heavy Dave Chappelle, not the same person talk, to in the boat, hit the bridge in the boat, and in the boat, dude, you were talking about your friend who's been replaced and is gone, maybe dead. And then in a snap of a finger, Roseanne was like, the boat and the bridge. And then he's like, yeah, let me jump into this character. Boat and a bridge. That fast. Hey, what about Dave Chappelle? I'd like to hear a little more about that. Nope. Segment's over. On to the next topic. Just like a couple Hollyweird controlled plants would do. Discuss the topic for a few minutes and then transition with some other thing and joke about it and then move on. And that was it. That's all you get. Well, I'm not satisfied with that admission. And I personally don't think that that's any better than his other partial non-admission on the Jim Bruniverse podcast. So neither one of his partial admissions impressed me at all. Like I said, a real admission would be admitting that Dave Chappelle has been replaced and that he's 1,000% certain. That's an admission, but he won't do that. And you could make all the excuses for Jim you want for why he didn't do that, for why he can't do that. The real reason is he's controlled and he's playing his part, being a truther, light truther, the non-aggressive, new, comfy version of Alex Jones. That's what he is. This is just my opinion, and if you don't agree, you can let me know all about it in the comments section below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.